Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Uh, I'd like to present my presentation today. It is about teaching perspective in digital age. So my question is, my first question in this part is, which one is your teaching style? Are you behaviorist, teaching your student based on response and stimuli with reward and punishment? Or are you cognitivist, teaching your student based on your students' cognitive factors by involving their feeling and psychomotor environment? Or are you constructivist, teaching your student by allowing them to construct knowledge rather than just passively taking information? Or maybe you are a connectivist, teaching your students by allowing them to learn not only individually but also let them learn within and across the network and worldwide web application. So, from those perspective of teaching, which one is the best? Behaviorism, cognitivism, constructivism, or connectivism? I guess the answer is there is no best teaching style. All styles are interrelated to each other depending on the needs of both the subject matter and the needs of students at a particular time. And let's take one example. We use first method here, campus-based learning environment. So first of all, we have some perspective first in teaching our student. According to Pratt and Associates, 1998, that we have a initial part by transmission, how effective delivery of content, and the second is apprenticeship, how we can give some model or modeling way of being so that our students can learning by doing under supervision. And there is developmental, cultivating ways of thinking so they can construct by using their thoughts, their feeling, and their action. And then nurturing, this is how they can facilitating self-efficacy as the fundamental tenet of Connectivist. And the last is social reform, seeking a better society. This is the perspective according to Pratt. And then let's uh, begin with the origin of the classroom design model. In the classroom-based model, learners are organized in a class that meet on a regular basis at the same place at certain times of the day for a given length of time over a given period, like a term or semester. It is designed was taken more than 150 years ago. It is because of the social, economic, and political context in the 19th century. It is because of the industrialization of society, the movement of people from rural to urban occupation, from village to city, from countries to town, and then the move of mass education to meet the need of industrial employees. And then further enforcement and hence need for a better education for the public. And over time is about the demand for more equality, resulting in universal access to education. And then third is the transmissive lectures, learning by listening. So the history begin with when the education transferring from lecture, and then someone a speaker who wants to audience to learn something, oral tradition of learning, where knowledge is passed on by word of mouth from one generation to text. Introduction, a point mind, and the wrap-up course. The fourth is about the interactive lecture, seminars, and tutorial, learning by talking. We have surface approach to learn and deeper approach to learn. So a seminar is practical method in massive education system. Sometimes, unfortunately, that it is impossible because seminar sometimes is the most elite and expensive institution. How about the five method like apprenticeship, learning by doing? This is the often associated with the vocational training where most experienced testament or juniors model behavior. The apprentice attempt to follow the model. Learning by doing particularly common in teaching motor skills such as learning to ride a bike or play a sport. Learning by doing. It is a strategic activity engagement of students in opportunities to learn through doing and reflection of those activities which empower them to apply their theoretical knowledge to practical endeavor in a multitude of settings inside and outside of the classroom. And then the science include laboratory, problem-based learning, case-based learning, project-based learning, inquiry-based learning, and cooperative learning. The design is scored by active experiment, concrete experience, reflective observation, abstract conceptualization. And then the first design is laboratory workshop or studio workshop. And then next is the problem-based learning, where students clarify concept and then define problem, and then discuss or analyze problem, and then identify possible explanation or solution in a set task learning object. After that, they make some research solution, and then the final is synthesize results, solution, or give some reflection. And then the next is case-based learning. In this case, students develop skill in analytical thinking and reflective adjustment by reading and discussing complex real-life scenario. And the next is project-based learning. It's a same as case-based learning, but tend to be longer and broader in scope, and with even more students have autonomy or responsibility in the sense of choosing subtopic, organizing the work, and deciding on what method to use to conduct a project. It is based on the real-world problem, which gives students a sense of responsibility and ownership in their learning activities. And then next is project-based learning that must meet two criteria: that student must perceive the work as personally meaningful, as a task that matters and that they want to do well, and a meaningful project fulfill an educational purposes. And the next is inquiry-based learning. It is similar to project-based learning, but the role of the teacher is different. In project-based learning, the instructor decides the driving question and plays a more active role in guiding the student through the purpose. But in inquiry-based learning, the learner explores a theme and choose a topic for research, develop a plan of research, and come to a conclusion. How about the involvement of experimental learning in online learning environment? Uh, we can find it in blended or flipped learning, where students can increasingly conduct the research and information getting by accessing resources online. And the next is by fully online. It is through a combination of synchronous and asynchronous tools such as web conferencing, and then in the asynchronous tools such as discussion forum and social media for group work, a portfolio and a multimedia for reporting, and remote labs for experimental work. The strength of experimental learning model, when it designed it properly by feeling, the nurturing perspective is learners' efficacy and self-esteem issues become the ultimate criteria against which learning success is measured rather than performance-related measure of contents body. And then second is the social reform perspective. It is based upon an explicit state, ideal, or set of principle linked to a vision of a better social order. Social reformers do not teach in one single way, nor do they hold distinctive views about knowledge. It is depend on ideal that inspires their actions. And then the role of learners and teachers, based on the optimistic view of human nature, that people will seek out and learn what they need and will find the necessary support from carrying dedicated educators and from others with similar interests and concern. This method is campus-based teaching method is aimed to show that there are many different ways to teach, so that uh, most instructors will mix and match different methods depending on the needs of both subject matter and the needs of their students at a particular time. And then there's no single method is likely to meet all requirements teacher face in digital age. And then all methods more likely to develop the high level concept skill required in digital age. And then not only just conceptual skill taught that are needed, it is a combination of conceptual, practical, personal, and social skill in a highly complex situation that are needed. And again, it means that combining a variety of teaching method, and I guess all these teaching methods are media or technology independent. In other words, they can be used in classroom or online. That's all about my presentation today. Thank you.